Okay guys, so this is actually not on stream. This is just normal video, and I have to redo it again because I accidentally didn't save the game, so we gotta redo everything. Let's do this again. It shouldn't take that long, if I'm being honest. It shouldn't take that long. They're going down. The music of this game is actually kind of crazy too. To turn down the fire and go look for some sea glide fragments. It's gonna be like my main goal. I started off into jumping into the ocean and looking for stuff to make a scanner, and with the scanner I found the sea glide fragments, scanned them, and made my own sea glide. There it is. Oh gosh, this thing is big. Yep. After I got myself my own sea glide, I decided to look around. My main goal was to find mobile vehicle base fragments and also seamoth fragments, which was the main goal for this and the end, from here to the end of the video. So I went into my journey, and I actually went really far away from the life pod. I mean, the furthest that I've ever been during this recording, which was actually really fun. While I was looking for the materials for all of the stuff that I just said, I ended up making a repair tool to repair the life pod, which I didn't know I could do that, but I was surprised that I could. So I repaired the radio and I guess the life pod itself, the box. And funny enough, while I was doing this, while I was checking the radio and all of the stuff, the Aurora actually ended up exploding, and I got the new recipe for the radiation suit, which I was like, wait, what the frick just happened? A couple minutes later, the radio, I started to get from a call from the radio, so I went into it and started to listen what happened. The call ended up being from LifePod 17, which wasn't that far away, and although my sea glide was pretty low to say the least, I decided to go and see what the LifePod could give me, or what the LifePod had in itself, because this was the first ever LifePod I've actually went to, so I didn't know if I was gonna find people or just resources that I could use. Oh, I see it. 17. Oh, I think they died. Alright. Oh, the PDA. Log. What else? Is there anything else? Anything here? Nope. And after finding nothing else other than a lost PDA, I decided to go back and look for more ingredients for my seamoth, which I really wanted to have. When I was back on my life pod listening to the old PDA things that I found in LifePod 17, I actually got a call from LifePod 3, which also wasn't that far away. So after looking for a little bit of more resources, I decided to go over to where LifePod 3 was to see if I could find anything more useful than I found on LifePod 17. Then I got to where the life pod was. I was a little lost to where it was, but then I realized it was literally right below me. So I went in, and I was a little surprised when I saw this box-like thing inside of it. So I opened it, but it ended up just being a compass. Then I also got the lost LifePod 3 PDA, and I didn't really know how to use the compass. I still don't know by the time I'm recording this audio. So after that, I just decided to go back, and I thought that life pods weren't that useful, but I still thought that going to them might be good, just because I could discover more parts of the map. After another half an hour of looking for resources and all of that stuff, I actually ended up finding the last piece that I needed to make a mobile vehicle station, which made me really happy. So I went back to my base, made my own mobile vehicle station, and got it ready for when I had enough stuff to make my Seamoth. Let's see, what can I make? Nothing. I think I should probably pin this. Should probably be a good idea. And then after that, the grinding once again began again. That was weird. I don't know why I said that. But I started to grind and look for all the ingredients that I needed to make the Seamoth. And let me tell you this, just so you know how long all of this took. This does include me looking for other life pods too, by the way. But I still have an hour and 19 minutes to edit. And at the end of the video, I only get the Seamoth. So this took a while. After that, I got another call from the radio, and this one was from LifePod 19. Now, this LifePod was an interesting one. Why, you may ask? Because this LifePod had landed 1,252 meters away from my LifePod. And I am not joking when I said that I stared at that thing for almost a whole entire minute, going like, "Oh, you're staying there, buddy." Like I'm not even joking. But I decided to look for more resources to make my Seamoth before going to that life pod. And again, after 20 minutes of even more grinding, I went to life pod 19, which was on this like weird underwater cave thing, and it looked like he had been eaten by something and just left there. So I got the PDA and I started looking for the awesome things that they were gonna give me for coming this down deep, and guess what there was? Nothing. And I had 20 minutes left of air, breathable air, and my sea glide was not fast enough, as you might imagine. I ended up dying. I died because I ran out of oxygen going for this life pod. So that was my valuable lesson to never go into another life pod again. That was until I actually started listening and reading to the PDA that they left me, and it was actually way more interesting. So basically, they found land. They found an island in this water world, and they were staying there, and they wanted me to go that way. And when I died, I thought, yeah, I am never going for another life pod ever again in my life. But then after I saw this, I realized that the life pods that were far away and hard to get meant that I was actually gonna get some really good stuff. So without any other brain cell thinking, I guess, I went into where it told me to go for the island. I then got to the island, but it took me so long to just find the way to get up, because the island was actually massive and it had like these big floaters underneath, which are like these weird animals that make things float. So yeah, and I went around the island. It was only one lap, but because the island was so big, it actually took me a while until I finally found that the way that I was going was the entrance, and I didn't have to turn. I just had to go straight, which really made me kind of sad and disappointed in myself. Then I found out that in the middle of the island there was this big hole where apparently the people from Lifepod entered, and there was the lost PDA. And this one started into like a big story kind of thing. So I then decided to investigate the island a little because I felt like there was stuff that I could get. Since this was such a big island, there had to be resources that could only be found in this island. And I wasn't wrong, there was a lot of resources that I could use in Scan. But probably the most important thing that I found on this island were like the house kind of thingies that were on both tops of like the mountains and also in the middle of those tops. It was like a small valley, to say it like that. But inside of these things, I actually found a lot of useful stuff, and I also scanned stuff that I could use to make my my own base. And I also got stuff that I guess it's used to for the story. I also got this like in the middle one. I'm pretty sure I got this one. There was like this weird tablet kind of thing. It was purple tablet. I'm pretty sure it was called. And I don't know why it is, but I still have it in my inventory by the time I'm recording this. So no, yeah, this was like the most important part that I found on the island. After that, I decided that I had been enough time on the island, and I went back into the ocean so I could go back to my life pod and keep looking for stuff to make my Seamoth, which, from what I know of the game, is a pretty important part of the game that I'm gonna need it. So I decided to just try to get that out of the way as fast as possible. When I got back to my base, I saw that there was a radio call waiting for me, which was from LifePod 13, and it said that the person here was Johnny Kashar. I, of course, don't know who that is, but uh, I decided not to go for it yet for a very specific reason, as you're gonna see in a second. It was around 1,000 meters away, which of course wasn't as far as the last one that was 1,200 something away. But I still decided that I wasn't gonna go for it because last time I died and I didn't want to die right now. So I decided to just get a Seamoth and then go over there and use the Seamoth to get the life pod. And there I was again, still looking for stuff that I could use to just make my Seamoth. And then guess what happened? I died. Now you may be wondering, what did you die of? Well, I died of thirst. I didn't have water. I was in the middle of the water, and I didn't have water. Sounds weird, but realistically, it is true. You can't really drink water from the ocean, and I guess this is salt water. I guess. So I ended up dying. I didn't actually lose any of the stuff that I had, which all I needed by the time that I died was just more titanium, so I could make a titanium roll or an ingot. I mean, I ended up getting bored, so I just made a radiation suit and went to the Aurora because I was bored of going and looking for just some titanium. And even though it wasn't that much titanium that I needed just to make the Seamoth, I had already been like around 40 minutes since I went for the island, to say it like that. It's been about 30 minutes. So I just decided to go to the Aurora and hopefully find something useful there. And I got onto it. It was really scary because I saw this like weird snake thing. I did not know what that was, bro. But that sound, the sound that that thing made, it shook my screen. I don't know if it was the Aurora that was shaking, and that's why my screen was shaking, or if it was that animal snake thing looking thing. It was actually kind of scary. But then I got on top of the Aurora. Hey, now you wanna fight? You wanna fight? It's in green. Just don't leave me alone. I want to get this. I'm gonna get some of this. Die. No, bro. Whoa. Just kidding. I actually ended up dying because I stepped on fire by accident. I didn't die to those weird crab things. I would never. Those things are like so easy to avoid. And then, guess what I did next after that death on the Aurora? I went back to grinding to get stuff for the sea moth. But hey, the good news is that I got the sea moth, and this was really happy. My reaction. Let's go. Look at this thing. I was happy to know that the Seamoth actually controls pretty similar to the player, except for a couple tweaks here and there. But because I was already used to the player movement, it was really easy to move around with the Seamoth, except I crashed here and there sometimes. But then after I got the Seamoth, I decided to go to the life pod. Remember that one life pod that was like thousands of meters away? That I said that I wasn't gonna go until I got the Seamoth? Well, yep, that's where I'm going now. I actually ended up finding the life pod on this like weird area. There was a lot of like blue animals, like rays to say it like that, in here, and the life pod was like on the edge, or at least that's what I thought, because it was actually just a shadow. In there was lost PDA, and again, like on the other one that was far away, that was it. But the good thing is that I actually ended up finding more stuff, I guess, that I could use, and titanium and all of this stuff that I could use to make, well, bases and all of this stuff. I then, after that, went back to the life pod and I got off for the next day. Now, the next day is probably in a week from now, actually. And, yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next episode of Subnautica, or I guess on my next Tromo SMP video. I actually don't know what's gonna come next. Most likely the Subnautica video, because I'm actually having so much fun playing that game. But anyway, I hope you guys liked it, and goodbye. Yeah. Daddy, this is the end of. Oh my god! No! No! Please, mother! I want to la vida, we are burning. No!